So I'm a local business owner. I think that makes me a little bit unique in this election cycle as well as on this current makeup of this board. It's not something that's well represented on our board. It's actually not at all. Steve McCoskey is a businessman, but he's going off, which really kind of leaves me as the last one standing with this sort of background of experience, which is really important to the Board of Education and all the things that we do. So I have a unique perspective in what it is the workforce wants. I hire people. And one thing that I have done when I go through interviews, a question that I always ask is, describe a time that you were met with a problem and tell me what you did to solve that problem. And if you did something creative or outside the box, you thought on the spot, whatever that was. Because as an employer, I want to make sure that, most importantly, I'm hiring people that can solve problems. It's not helpful to me when people come to me with a problem without a solution. I think that that's what we are kind of losing track of in K through 12 education. They need a well-rounded, robust K through 12 education. That'll set them up to make further decisions to then specialize in whatever it is that they want to do. But if they graduate after 12 years and have the ability to be critical thinkers and problem solvers, then that'll be the sort of baseline function that they need to be successful. And that's the most important thing that I want when I'm hiring people. I think to do that, what we need is a viable curriculum. We've worked hard in the 3 years that I've been on the board to do that. We need the best teachers we can possibly have. We need to retain those teachers. We need the budget to accomplish both of those things. We also need better accountability that we're imparting on our students and higher expectations on those students. And that would include pretty vast improvement in the areas of discipline, which our district is in much need of right now. I think what's important, so I've been on the board for 3 years, and I think what's important from the public school perspective for Springfield Public Schools is to really focus on a balanced, robust K through 12 education. I don't believe it's our job to really specialize students, although we do offer those opportunities, and Springfield Public Schools has done a great opportunity or a great job with choice programs and offering those opportunities for students who, the rare few that really do have it figured out at such a young age, at 15 or whatever it is they really do know what their career path is going to be, but most do not. And what I think Springfield needs to do better at is to prepare them for what those next steps are. And there's a certain amount of just sort of life experience that we should be putting into these students. And it comes back to critical thinking skills and problem solving. And there's a certain sort of base K through 12 education that they need that we just quite honestly need to be doing better at. I don't think that we're doing our best job at that. And before we master that, I don't think it's helpful to the students, to the parents, to the community at large, to the employers, to be graduating students or churning out students that don't have that sort of baseline sort of knowledge and living experience and problem-solving skills that a robust K through 12 education through a public school system can and should provide. I'm going to keep my answer to this question on one topic. So the biggest issue that Springfield Public Schools is facing right now, and it's not unique to Springfield, but we are maybe greater challenged at this than some of the other local districts, is student behaviors and discipline and how we approach that. So I like to look at this two ways. I'm a parent. I've coached a lot of youth sports. So I've interacted with kids and kind of have an experience to know how they work and know how to help them grow. And when I look at handling children's behaviors, I see it as sort of a twofold approach, and you need balance in both. There's a proactive approach of setting standards and teaching them the way that they should act, and then there's a reactive approach. And the reactive approach is more traditional discipline methods of, okay, we've already set the standards of how you should act, now you have not met those standards, so there's going to be a consequence to that action. And you have to have both to really be effective. So to answer the question, I think that Springfield Public Schools, and maybe more recently, has really honed in and focused on the proactive approach with things like PBIS. This is positive behavior intervention systems. This is something that's been implemented across the district and fairly successfully. And what this does is it creates a lot of positive reinforcement structure and a lot of sort of guiding of behaviors as to setting expectations and how we should behave. So that would be one thing that I think the district has done good. But it's not effective without having the balance of the reactive approach. And I do believe that the district has not done a good job in having the proper disciplinary supports and procedures and policies in place so that when they don't meet those expectations, that there are consistent and progressive consequences to make sure that the behaviors are corrected.
So employers in our community certainly need a workforce that is prepared and is able to do the jobs in the businesses and the industries that we have in our community and beyond. So, I truly feel like our school district needs to be preparing students for success, and part of that is being productive members of our community in the workforce. So, that means focusing on academic achievement, making sure that our students receive the education, the instruction, the experiences, and the soft skills that they need to succeed in the workforce. I think we're certainly also going to see in the next few years, and we've already seen it, technology changing at such a rapid pace that the workforce needs students who are able to keep up with that pace of change. So that means our students have to have intellectual curiosity, problem-solving skills, and the ability to adapt and learn. So that is going to be an important part of a successful experience for our kids in Springfield Public Schools. We also must understand what the next generation of work is going to look like for kids in our community. So we have to, as a board, connect with educators, but also connect with the business community and understand where the gaps will be in the workforce and where those educational gaps are so we can help fill those. One of the things that I think SPS does really well, we are known as a district of choice, and regionally we have more choices for our students than many of our neighboring schools. So I think that's something that the district is doing really well, and I think that contributes substantially to workforce development. So I think we need to continue to investing in those choices for our students. We need to make sure that students can explore their strengths, can explore their areas of interest, and find a path that's ultimately right for them, whether that's college after high school, whether that's entering the workforce or entering a trade. The more options that we can give our students to connect with those career paths as they're developing in their education, the better off that we're going to be as a community. I think that we have to empower students to connect with those programs and make those choices, and I certainly think as a board it's incumbent on us to understand the needs of the workforce. So we need to understand where those education gaps are so that as we're developing the strategic mission for the district, that we're able to help create programs and support educators in a way that drives workforce at the forefront. So it's really exciting. The last 3 years, Springfield Public Schools has shown a lot of growth. Academically, our test scores are improving, our attendance rates are improving, our graduation rate last year was at an all-time high, which is that's great momentum coming off of the COVID learning loss. And as I've talked to professionals in the field of education, they say it takes almost 4 years to move the needle in academic achievement. So that's an incredible accomplishment for our school district. We should celebrate that as a community, and we should continue that momentum. We shouldn't become complacent with where we are. We should want the best for our students and continue to push for academic excellence in our community. I think part of that, something that we can focus on in the coming years and will be continued focus, not just for Springfield Public Schools, but for other communities as well, is teacher attraction and retention. When you look at the #1 factor that influences a student's success in the classroom, teachers have 2/3 of that more than 2/3 of that influence, whether over buildings or administrators or curriculum. It really is the teacher that drives success for students. So we're going to have to focus on that as a community, and as a school district. How do we recruit and retain the best teachers? Certainly compensation's a part of that. Safe working environments, culture in our schools to make sure that those teachers are supported and are able to do the work that we need them to do in educating our future.
So we have a very robust economy in Springfield. We have a broad spectrum of career opportunities, employment opportunities in the city, and I think that's a really that's pretty spectacular, especially for how small Springfield is. I said this for a long time, that Springfield is really an interesting microcosm in spite of our size. So we also seem to pretty well mirror the national average in terms of unemployment. The U.S. labor statistics shows that we're about at 3.4%, I think, unemployment, at least in 2024. So I think that's a good thing. I think we're staying in track that way is positive. I think that employers are looking for students who, or for well, young people, but people in general, who are excited to work. They want to come to work. It's not just a job that they trudge through. I like my job. I've been in aviation for 5 years. I like my employer. I think that a lot of employers are looking for employees who want to be part of a family. I know my employer is very, they impress upon us even today in our all hands meeting that we are part of a family. And so I think that the school district really needs to be focusing on helping students be prepared, not just for college and career, but really for how to be good, productive citizens in society, and that means being good employees and coming to work with a gung-ho attitude, ready to knock it out. So one of the things that I pride myself on is being a bridge builder. I think I'm a pretty good communicator. I've had a lot of training in communication. I've had a lot of opportunities for education and communication, and I think that Springfield Public Schools really needs to collaborate more. I know that we have a lot of good programs with local colleges and outside the area as well. But I think that we need to be getting more into the public or private businesses as well. I think that we need to be looking to our working students. We have a lot of high school juniors and seniors and some sophomores even have jobs, and I think that we ought to utilize their experience and their know-how and dare I say wisdom in and sharing that with their own peers, their fellow students. I think that we need to be having a lot more job fair opportunities that aren't the regular, typical what you'd think of. Healthcare, manufacturing, that kind of thing. I think that we need to have representatives from fast food chains. I think we need to have representatives from laundromats. I think that we need to, because all of these businesses need employees. And, the things that look glamorous to students are going to be the ones that students go for. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities that are missed, especially in our robust economy, because students don't realize what's out there. They don't have the opportunity, or they don't have the, they don't see all that they can accomplish in this area. And so I really think that we need to have a lot more opportunities for job fairs and collaborating, not just with universities and nonprofits, but also private companies. I think that the school district has done a very good job of graduating students. We have a 94.4% graduation rate right now. At the same time, I think we're doing a disservice to a lot of our students, because while we're graduating a high rate of students, we're also graduating them with average grades, average education in many ways. There's plenty of statistics out there that show that we are C and D average amongst all the core subject matters. We currently have students who are reading 2 grades below level. I just saw a YouTube reel, not somebody from Springfield, but someone who works for a corporate job who was concerned because she can't spell because she's used spell check all of her schooling life. We have students right now who are using Chromebooks who have the opportunities of technology, but unfortunately, technology can also be a drawback. And I think that we need to be training our students up for a workforce and employment, but also for adult life. There's a lot of things that 17, 18-year-olds don't know about that happen in life, that happen on a regular basis. And whether it's going to work or getting car insurance or going to a doctor's appointment, things like that. So I think that the school is, and not that the school should be helping students learn how to go to the doctor, but I think that the school should really be doing a much better job at training students, not just for careers in college, but also for how to be good adults in society.
Well, the 2 biggest employers in Springfield are Cox and Mercy, and they have hundreds of positions open. There's a real shortage in the healthcare workforce. So that is what I would think would be the biggest need in Springfield. It is important that we improve academics and opportunities for students. Another thing that is important we do is to collaborate with, that the school district collaborates with businesses so that students can get real work educational opportunities. And the Springfield Public Schools is doing this. The newest choice program is the Healthcare Alliance. This is an alliance between the Springfield Public Schools, Ozarks Tech, Missouri State University, and one other. Anyway, this is helping students get a step ahead, a step up in the healthcare field, and will also address the shortages that we have in healthcare workers in Southwest Missouri. And I also think it's really important that we have board members that support these partnerships and student success, and I will do both. Well, the good news is that academics are improving at Springfield Public Schools. Overall scores were up on the last annual performance report, and this is a key indicator that things are going in the right direction. We also need to continue to recruit and retain the best possible teachers that we can, because that is the #1 factor in student success. I also believe that we need to make sure that we are not leaving the most needy, under-resourced students, vulnerable students behind. And we have several programs in the Springfield Public Schools that help with this. One of them is the SOB program. It is a leadership program that includes everyone. It helps kids with their social skills and their leadership skills, and it offers opportunities for internships. I have been attending the Rose Banquet for the last 13 years, and this is top 10 students from every high school, and this is the first year, last year was the first year that Parkview had 4 African American young men in their top 10. One of the students was the vice president at the school, and the other one was a valedictorian. This is the first time Parkview has had 4 African American valedictorians. About 3 weeks ago, I had teachers over to my house to discuss this very thing. What is working, what is not working? And 3 things I took away from this. Number 1, we have amazing teachers working as hard as they can in the schools. One of the teachers said, when I asked that question, she said, teachers are working, bus drivers are working, nurses are working, counselors, secretaries are working. So we have so many people in our buildings, and that's something that is we should certainly celebrate. Number 2, teachers love what they are doing. They love working with students. However, they do not love all the data collection and the reporting that they have to do. This takes time away from their teaching. Number 3, I knew this, but this was really driven home to me, that we must continue to support and our teachers. We need to make sure that we have effective discipline policies and procedures that can work. Maybe that we are offering more professional development opportunities for teachers, or maybe that we just respect them and trust them to do the job that they have been tasked to do.